Namaste. Welcome and greetings. I am Magick La Croix. It's gonna stop a virus. No. This
Got y'all listening now. Some witchcraft for that ass. Too late to turn away. Abracadabra and all that good shit. Yo. Hocus pocus, got you focused on my rhyme. Simply easy, now I'm eating couch potatoes, I recline. No, I'm joking as I'm toking power puffs and pokey yokes. Till my town and villa filled with ganja smoke, you know the dope. Coming out my pipes, talking about the bones in my throat. With the mic, I'm casting curses every night, you know the scope. Got my spells handy. You may call it the phone, but when I'm done reciting, you'll give me the keys to the throne. Then I take my keys to go home. Then say I was done. While rush to end it all, it feels amazing to have won. I'm not planning to ball, but why not take the chance to stunt? No, I don't need it all. Can think the thing I don't want. Do I worship the sun? Or sold my soul for the tongue? Or death since I was young? Or got some voodoo done?
Namaste. Namastizzle. Peace. Many blessings. Shalom. Greetings. What's up? I'm the one and only, the diabolical one, Magick La Croix. Hopefully, y'all had a great 2 weeks. What's going on, people? Today is Tuesday. It's July 1st. The month of June just kind of flew by. And I see my child here is the first person here. What's up, princess? How are you? Yeah, what's going on, people? There's a holiday, a major holiday coming up this weekend. I hope y'all will stay safe. You know, just be careful. There's going to be a lot going on. It is hot all over the country. Anytime it's hotter on the East Coast than it is in Texas, yeah, there's something going on. What's up, Brother Moore? We're back in the building. I had to send you you sent me something? What'd you send me? What is that? Wow. So let me show y'all what Brother Moore sent me. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. The stuff that you can do with the stuff that you can do, period, online. Look what he sent. Oh, man. Oh, before I go any further, rest in peace to Walter Scott of the legendary group The Whispers. He passed last week. He was one of the twins. I think he had a short illness and he recently, so rest in peace to him. They gave us some awesome music throughout the 70s and 80s. And they've been going nonstop. Actually, they've been touring well into the 80s. So it is a blessing to be able to perform that long. Peace and blessings, Legacy Sigma. Thank you. I appreciate that. Well-deserved break from, what's up, Nikki Love? How are you? Angelus Carter. Hey, what's going on? Good to see you. Peace and blessings, Sister Righteous. Anytime, I think I said it on one of the little short videos I did. Anytime you feel like you, oh my God, here we go. Anytime where you feel like, you know, when you feel like you're aggravated and you're irritated and angry and depressed and all of that just from social media, it's time to take a break. And that's what I did. So I'll tell you about it in a second as soon as I get my camera going again. It hasn't done this in a long time, and today it decides to do it. So I'm going to take this opportunity to show y'all a video here. It's called The Age of Deceit. And it is about 5 minutes long. So I'll present this to you here while I get my camera back.
world's a stage. Is it any wonder that that's one of William Shakespeare's most memorable lines? Even people who could care less about poetry. And much like Da Vinci and the others, is it any wonder that there seems to be some sort of cryptic, mystic, embedded meaning when he talks about this is the 7 ages of man in the same act as he opens with the words, all the world's a stage? Well, as they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. So if you've seen these, I'd like you to kind of bring back to memory these 2 motion pictures. They convey huge concepts that I don't have time to revisit right now, but you should have them in your consciousness because they're predicted programming, so they're supposed to be there. The first one is The Truman Show, and the second one is They Live. So you might want to keep these glasses handy because I want to take a second look at a few things. And some of it's going to be hard to believe. But as we go through some of this stuff, just kind of keep that in mind. The Truman Show meets They Live. And hopefully, once we look at it this way, you'll be able to make a whole bunch of connections that I'm not even going to mention in this video. And again, I know this is a long video, but please bear with me and please hang around till the end because this is not a video about just chaotic pile. And you'll see people, they'll put a couple of pieces of the puzzle together here and there, and here's a big chunk of it where people took the time and did a 28-minute video and put some together. But God has specifically called me for unity in the body of Christ. That's a huge part of my calling. It has been. I wrote about it in my book 15 years ago. I know what I'm supposed to do. So please, patience.
Yeah. Can y'all hear me? Is the sound okay? I ain't expect to have issues as soon as I got back here, but can y'all hear me? Put something in the chat if you can hear me. Okay. The video, okay, so the sound went out, right? All right, I'm gonna try this again. If not, then I will stop it again. I just thought it was relevant to the times we're living in.
Virtue. I have to take all of these little pieces of the truth, and in my videos, most of this stuff, most of the clips I use is all stuff that people have seen a million times before. I'm going to get to some actual old pictures here pretty soon. But this troupe or this circle of actors slash actresses
Here we go again.
that traveled around doing these plays, they were trained for this. And sexual, like Miley Cyrus. Oh, a new frontier, right? As they're indoctrinating their followers, all going all the way back to Disney, the people that they have.
All right, so that was a little longer than I wanted. You know what I mean? Sorry about that. You know, I didn't expect to come back and have a whole bunch of issues, but peace to everybody who's come in. Ultra Instinct, Legacy Sigma, Blizz, Dom, Bobby, D. No, you're not being a nuisance, Bobby. Sorry about that. You know, what can I say? It's a bunch of issues here. It goes out one more time. I'm going to have to just wait till Thursday. You know what I mean? Actually, Thursday, I'm going to have Ani Osaru back to join me to bring y'all some information. Okay. But that was just a little clip of talking about the agenda, the main agenda that we see going on here. You know what I mean? So one of the things also that I wanted to say is that yeah, this and this is gonna be the last time I actually say it. It doesn't take much to go to another channel if you are disagreeing with the things that I say, my viewpoints, my opinions. You know what I mean? I'm sure that there's other people speaking on magical and occult topics that may resonate with people. Everybody's not going to resonate with everybody. And I know people don't resonate with me. I know there's some people that don't. You know what I'm saying? But there are going to be times where I'm going to show clips. My name is Magick La Croix for a reason, the crossroads. Although I'm spiritual, and I like to think that I'm an advanced spiritual being, I'm also part of the mundane world as well. So I do, you know, show clips from the everyday world. Okay. Um, like I said, it doesn't take much to click onto somebody else's channel. Now, I appreciate the support, and I appreciate the followers and my supporters. You know what I'm saying? But in addition to magical and occult topics, I am going to show other shit, so to speak. So if that doesn't agree with your spirit, feel free to leave. You know, I've said this before, but I felt the need to say it again. Um, I don't need an essay in the comments or in, where people put comments of what I should be doing on this channel. I've been doing this for 10 years now. And so there are people who actually find the advice and the knowledge that I give on here valuable. All right. But I like to mix things up as well. Okay. We need a balance. You know what I'm saying? Did y'all hear that? Do any of you still watch BET? I like to call it EBT. It's like, it really is like EBT. You know, for those of you who do, I'm not sure why anyone watches it anymore. To be quite honest, they've taken all the good shows off a long time ago. But the fact that recently they gave a gospel award to Glorilla. They gave her a gospel award. BET did this. You know what I mean? That should tell you a whole lot in itself. You know what I mean? It is unbelievable. That is owned by white people. What do you expect them to do? Let's just call it what it is. It is owned by them. It is not owned by black people. What do you expect them to do? Can't get mad about it. You know what I mean? You really can't. You know, oh yeah. It's your channel, your world. I appreciate you saying exactly. So I'm down. Dig your. Oh, appreciate that, Doctor. I didn't see you sneak in there. Ain't watched BET since. Right. That was one of the shows that I'm talking about. That and Ananda Lewis just passed. That was a great show, Teen Summit. I was an adult watching Teen Summit. They were talking about the issues that teens were dealing with back then. Bussy Perry, yeah. That's all they show is him. That's all his nonsense shows. That's what they show. You know what I mean? To your point, though, Brother Moore, Luther Vandross passed in 2005. He didn't pass the other day. He passed a long time ago. No, Tyler Perry. We talking about Tyler Perry too. I get the same feeling with BET as when I see Sexy Red Disturbed. Yeah. But to my point, though, it has been owned. Bob Johnson sold it a long time ago. A long time ago. White people have been running that for years now. Do you really expect them? Let's be honest. Do you really expect them to show quality programming to us? Be for real. Oh yeah, I knew that. I meant this day in this day. Okay, gotcha. Understood. Okay, we here. Trust me, we're here. But like I was saying, I took a long social media break. I'm slowly made my way back on the Facebook and cutting up on there, but it was so needed, and I did a whole lot of meditation. In addition to the most common frequency that people like to listen and tune into is 428 hertz. But there are other frequencies that you can listen to. Also, try and listen to Om, right? You listen to Om, okay? But there's other frequencies. Don't forget Gregorian chants as well, right? Check this out. I'm going to show y'all one of my folders. I'll show you some of the other frequencies that you can listen to. And I will put some of these in Patreon. Can y'all see that? Let me know you can see that. Put a 1 in the chat or whatever, however y'all do that. There's 285 for heal and regeneration, healing sleep. There's 396 fear and guilt relief. You know, what's up, Chikezi? What's going on? Peace. Thanks for showing up on sister damn Reverend Patience. Reverend Patience show. What's up, Moonchild? Thank you. Glad to be back. It's tiny lettering. You can't see it. Let me do it this way. I'm gonna do it this way. Can y'all hear me when I do that? I'm gonna do it again. And tell me if you can hear me. Could y'all hear anything when I did it that way? I appreciate you. Nope. Okay. Thanks. Okay. All right. So anyway, let me just say what it is. All right. Okay. You got 396, fear and guilt relief. You got 417 hertz, cleanse negativity. All right. You got 528 hertz, which is DNA repair music. Okay. You got 639 hertz, which is love and positivity. Okay. You got 741 hertz, which is toxins, negativity, anger, and jealousy. Okay. You got 852 hertz, which is overthinking and worries. And you got 963 hertz, which is the pineal gland opening. Okay. Just wanted to tell y'all that because there are other frequencies that you can listen to. And YouTube is really good about having those other frequencies on there. You just do a search. Okay. Yeah, I appreciate it, Bob. Yeah. Can I hear when you did it? Okay. Let's go. What's up, Queen of Swords? What's going on? What's up, Cosmic Puzzle Piece? What's there? I like that cowboy hat in your profile picture. I mean, everybody's going cowboy crazy and cowboy culture now because Beyonce is doing it now. So, but anyway, speaking of magic, though, no, I'm always constantly doing magic. I'm always doing client work and teaching classes, right? One of the people who I got my inspiration from is from Basil Crouch, aka Basil La Croix, right? Which is partly where my name comes from. Okay. And one of the books, I don't even think you can find this anymore unless you go on Finbar's website. One of the books that he has out is called Dial Magic. Let me see if I can open this here. Dial Magic. Okay. And Dial Magic, the first time I did one of those rituals from that, I was traveling through a wormhole all night, escorted by Aleister Crowley, because that's who I wanted to get information from, so to speak. All right. I'm going to show y'all what I'm talking about in just a second, because on Dial Magic, in one of the sentences here, in one of the paragraphs, I should say, he says this, and I think it's so important, right? He says, okay. Let me know if you can see this when I present it, okay? This is his book, Dial Magic, right? Right here. It says, the Bible says, unless you become as little children, you cannot enter the kingdom of heaven. This statement contains a profound psychological truth. In talking to the doll, you suspend all adult cynicism and doubts and become a child again. Children are very close to the world of the unseen and to the primal source of life and being. In order to be cured, you must become a child again and return to that primal innocence which never questioned magic and believed all things were possible. Of course, you are not expected to behave like a child in your day-to-day life. I ask only that you become as a child when speaking to your doll. Okay? It works. You know what I mean? His magic works. All of his books work. Okay? And they remember, when something seems so simple that it can't work, you should try it. All right? And let's see, just got back from New Orleans. Oh, okay. That's what's up. I hope you had fun. We had fun when we was there, I think 2 years ago. Yes, solfeggio frequencies are great, Bobby. Indeed. Oh, you asked the same question I did. How was New Orleans? Yeah. It was fun and paranormal. Okay. You know what I'm saying? New Orleans is a supernatural place. Got to go at least once. I totally agree with that. Like I said, we finally were able to go about 2 years ago. And got to go and do some magic there. Yeah. The cemetery is very unique too. There's a lot of unique things about that place. All right. Back to doll magic though. Like I said, one of the things that it tells you is that you can actually get information from someone who's deceased. All right. I did a couple of lives where I'm saying tap into that inner child. Okay. When you believe everything was possible, nothing was impossible. Everything was possible and you had infinite possibilities. Right. You need to go back to that childlike state when it comes to magic. Right. This is one of the keys of making it work. Okay. Tapping into the inner child to access the right brain where hyperspace is accessed within the mind. Yes, indeed. All right. One of the ways that like I said, one of the ways is to do some doll magic. It is really simple too. You know what I'm saying? Here is the instructions on that, just in case some of you want to try it. I'm telling you that it works. The blue dial can be used for gaining information about a certain subject. Of course, I wanted to know about some occult shit. For example, if you're studying or researching something for which you need as much information as possible, you may find this of invaluable help, but beware. Some might call this necromancy or black magic. You decide for yourself. Speaking for myself, I have no compunction about using the blue dial in such a manner. For those who want to try, here's what you do. You darken the room and light a white candle. You draw on a large sheet of plain white paper a circle and write within the circle the name of an expert on the subject which interests you, and it must be the name of a person whom you know to be dead. Now, place the dial over the name you have just written. You moisten the forefinger of your right hand and touch the dial's head with the saying, I baptize thee in the name of the dead person. O great ruler of the universe, I call on thee to send me one of your great manifestations to be here with me. Bring back through this dial the memory of him whose name is inscribed in this circle. I have charged this, my handmade fetish, and earth this power through the fluid of my body. Let its great power now seep through my mind and bring back all the memories of this soul whose name is now inscribed on my heart. Let the knowledge of the soul who now rests in peace be given unto me as and when I have need of it. So be it. You dwell on what you've just said and then extinguish the candle, saying, I thank thee, O great immortal spirit, for sending me the power through one of thy manifestations of energy. Thanking thee, I bid thee now recall this manifestation, let it return to its own blessed remnant, to which I bid a fond farewell. And you go about your business with the full confidence that the knowledge you seek will be granted. Okay? All right. Yes, I've used it. This is my blue dial. Right? Blue dial. Okay? I did everything that I just read about. Okay. Recently, I tapped back into this magic. All right. Recently. Okay. And the person whom I wanted information was Kenneth Grant, the great occultist, the Crowley student. You know what I mean? This comes from Walmart. It's right in the craft section. Costs about $8. Okay. Yes, I painted it blue. Okay. Or you can use one of these. You use this too and just paint it blue. All right. Okay. Everything that I've seen from Basil Crouch works. Okay. Yes, childlike is key. I agree, bro. I've been into that motto. Your inner child keeps you. Oh, absolutely keeps it strong. Yes. Spell it is that I'm not understanding that. Okay, necromancy makes sense. Yes. There are other rituals in there. For instance, there's a yellow doll that you can paint, and the yellow doll is for healing yourself. And then, of course, there's a green doll for something, making money. Right? Again, I found that Basil La Croix, Basil Crouch, all his information works. Ooh, wee, I love that. Love it too. What's up, Magic Bitey? Peace. Oh, you know about Hobby Lobby, huh? No, I got it from Walmart. But yeah, you can find something like that at Hobby Lobby. Yo, that's crazy. I just the other day got mad interested in voodoo dolls out of nowhere. If you are also interested, okay, what I'll do, the doll magic book is 7 pages long. I will put that in Patreon for those who are subscribed to me there. Also, what you can do, pick up one of Denise Alvarado's books. She Voodoo Doll Spell Book is the name of her book. Okay. You thought Kenneth Grant was alive? Kenneth Grant passed a couple years ago. Okay. Yes, don't call any family. Some still into Jesus. I know, right? Nice, Grant. Yeah. I specifically chose Kenneth Grant, and then the next time I'm gonna do Jack Parsons. Okay. If you want to see the other information, let's go there. Let's go back. Dial magic, right? Here's the information on the green dial. Excuse me. The green dial will act as your magnet for drawing money and material possessions into your life, for making important decisions in your life, decisions that can make the difference between pain and sorrow and health and happiness. You will need to make a blue dial. Once made, hold the blue dial in your right hand while erasing blah, 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 right? But this information right here is for the green dial, the almighty creator of the universe, blah, blah, blah. But check this out, though. He has named in here some voodoo gods that I had never heard of. I shall now show you how to call upon the gods of voodoo to make you rich, possibly very rich. The following invocation is powerful and can be harmful if not carried out correctly. So please read the instructions carefully and think carefully before you proceed. For this invocation, you will need your green doll hung around your neck. Make sure it hangs securely, for under no circumstances should it fall loose whilst carrying out these instructions. You should read up on 1 or 2 self-made wealthy people whom you know to be deceased. For this, I would think about somebody like Steve Jobs or somebody like that. You don't have to read a whole biography. It is sufficient for you to know just their name and a rough idea of their life. It is important that their wealth was self-made, not inherited, and that they died wealthy. For goodness sake, don't choose someone who inherited wealth and fortune and blew it all on women and drink and died penniless. Okay? Now, see, here's one of the low I've never heard of. Almighty Mawu. See that right there? Can y'all see that? All right. Look at this. With your right hand, you touch your heart, your forehead, and your lips. Then place the forefinger of your right hand on the head of your dial while speaking the following. I, and you say your full name, call upon the gods of Akovadun to bring forth the spirit of he who is named between the two candles. I place myself under the protection of Marasa, the twin gods of voodoo, during the performance of this rite. And then other instructions. See what I mean? Got it. Like I said, his information has not failed me yet. So if a person were facing trial and needs strong legal defense, would the person need to imagine a yes, absolutely. That is a great point. Yes, absolutely. That's exactly who I would do. Here's a trick though. It says the instructions in the book say to snuff out the candles. But what I did, I took a 7-day candle and placed that and let that burn until it burnt out. That's what I did. All right. Another book. Since we talking about books, that's Dial Magic, right? Let's see. Another book that some of y'all probably have never heard of. No, I like to bring books, grimoires that are not well known. This one's called Presidium. See that? Ugh. A handbook of magical defense and protection. It was copywritten 2016. All right. Let me see where I'm at on here. Okay, y'all can see that, right? All right. Magic has been around since the dawn of man. Think about that. It sprung forth from primitive people, and its effect on our minds today is still as potent as ever. It's known that if you wish to influence someone by magic, giving them the hint that you will work magic on them is half the battle won. A person will theoretically be affected by a curse to a much greater extent if they know that a curse has been placed on them. I have found this to be very true. At that point, it becomes psychological. It can be tough for even the most experienced magician to keep calm when they learn that a particularly malevolent curse has been placed upon them. It is disability. For magic to subtly worm its way into the subconscious mind of the person on the receiving end, which demonstrates the ancient roots magic has in the minds of modern day people. And it is also this reason that in our advanced technological society, magic is as effective as ever and thus as potentially harmful as ever. Although I know these are magicians, there are magicians who curse people and often frivolously. I would say plain and simply that most people go their whole lives without falling under the influence of an orchestrated magical attack. When you step foot in the magical world, perhaps if you make an enemy or attract jealousy from other practitioners, someone may curse you. Maybe, just maybe. Most magicians, however, don't waste their precious energy attacking people they don't like, and most would rather spread a rumor than curse. Most practitioners also hold it in their moral values not to curse, for the same reason they hold it in their moral values not to punch people who annoy them. However, for as long as I can go on about how unlikely it is you will be cursed, I cannot deny the fact that myself and many other people who have sought my help have fallen under the influence of curses. Like I said, there are people out here who will actually curse you for no fucking reason at all. Some just do it for target practice, right? It wasn't until recently that I didn't realize that a particular group of people, a lot of them curse each other. A lot of them, a particular race of people, I should say. Okay, I had no idea until like 2019 when I spent that whole year removing curses, unbinding people, It was a trip. These people actually like cursing each other. About to get that as soon as I get off here. Okay. I created a voodoo doll out of the person's socks. Don't tell nobody, but she proceeds to tell somebody. She told the audience. Blue doll safer than a Ouija board. Yeah, absolutely. Almighty something. So give the green doll the idea. Yeah, there you go. Yup. Y'all see? Y'all thinking. Yeah, absolutely right. Source Witch, you're a badass. What's up, Sharon? How are you? Katrina, peace, peace, peace. Namaste. Welcome back. Thank you. Appreciate that. Namastizzle. Damn. I love mind fuck, right? Is doll magic strictly a voodoo tradition? Do you have to call on the Loa for results? Great question. Absolutely not. You know, doll magic is it's a couple different cultures where it comes from. The most famous that people know is voodoo dolls. You see what I'm saying? But no, there's only that one ritual in that book that calls on voodoo gods or the Loa. The rest, you're actually just saying you're calling on the universe. Okay, but great question. But no, I know witches like that. Real evil for petty shit. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. People are petty, and this is the reason why I refuse to give out black magic here on publicly on YouTube. Okay. I'm not going to be responsible for anybody. Matter of fact, let me do this again. I am not responsible for anything that anyone tries to do on this channel. Any spell, any ritual, anything that I give out is for entertainment purposes only. It is for curio only. Use your own discretion. Okay? All right. Magic and technology are designed together. One example, Rod of Gods, aka Thor's hammer. Tungsten's rods with massive destructive force on standby in Earth's orbit that evade laws for nuclear WPNS. Bobby always got something to say, y'all. Pay attention to stuff that he says here. Yeah, a lot of people are petty when they have access to exactly. So I don't want to be responsible for somebody doing something to somebody else. You know what I mean? Exactly. Yes, Swords Witch is very unapologetic. That's why I fucks with her. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly why. Peace, brother Konami. What's the deal? All right. There are saints also. I'm not sure if y'all knew this. Some saints practice magic. One such saint was Saint Cyprian. Okay. Saint Cyprian. Not sure if you ever heard of him. Saint Cyprian. He was a Berber. All right. Berber. Berber. What is a Berber? Let's see what a Berber was. Okay. Let's see. We're going to go to the Berber people. All right. Here we go. Berber. According to Google, Berber people, also known as Amazi or Imazigan, are the indigenous inhabitants of North Africa, predating the arrival of Arabs. They are a diverse group with a rich history and culture, speaking various Berber languages and living across a vast region from Egypt to Morocco and parts of West Africa. Okay. So, you know what they were, right? All right. Saint Cyprian, okay, is I'm trying to see your question. Can you soak the doll in water charged with money mantra? That is an interesting question. I have not tried that, but have at it. I'm not saying it wouldn't work, but have at it. Seriously, I don't mean that facetiously. Have at it. See if it works. I've never been asked that question, and I can always count on you, Legacy Sigma, to bring the great questions. Good question. I don't know, to be quite honest. I've never done that. Here is the testament of Cyprian the Mage. Okay. He was a saint, right? Are we gonna do this? Really? Ugh, not this working. All right, here we go. In this book, Saint Cyprian, this is what it looks like. This is what the cover looks like, I should say. That's what the cover looks like. Okay. Here is yet another occultist that people do not know. And this is done by Jake Stratton Kent. All right. He's the same person who gave you this book. Okay. Remember? Techniques of Greco-Egyptian Magic. All right. I'm sorry. This is Stephen Skinner, but I think he has something to do with this book as well. Forget I said that. All right. Let's go back to this book, the book of the Testament of Saint Cyprian. Okay. Here we go. Another aspect to magical studies that has been subject to change is the relationship of magic and Gnosticism. Remember, Gnosticism is the real deal Christianity, is the original Christianity. It is now widely understood that the magical practices exemplified by the PGM is the Greek magical papyri influenced Gnosticism, to which they were historically prior, not as once commonly supposed in academia and contemporary occultism alike, the other way around. See John Wick Part 3. It is thus obviously quite wrong to speak of Gnostic gems or Gnostic words of power. These things are the creation of magicians, from whom later Gnostics borrowed. Still, another aspect of defining magic as distinct from religion, Gnostic or otherwise, is concerned with the obtaining of results. That's what we're looking for, results. That's what matters. It is essentially correct for academics to define magic as concerned with guaranteed obtaining of results, as opposed to religiously beseeching a deity who may refuse. Failure to rigorously adhere to a formula was certainly blamed for failures when they occurred, whether or not every magician genuinely believed that barred this proviso, they were infallible. There remains the assumption that magic was only concerned with day-to-day results, while salvation, however it is defined, was a religious issue, even where said magic was performed within a religious milieu or by a religious official. This, in my opinion, continues to be mishandled both by academics and particularly occultists, with rare exceptions. The more Kabbalistic books of Moses certainly influenced hoodoo in the United States, but do not particularly concern Saint Cyprian or the Goetic fusions within traditions such as, drumroll please, Kimbanda. Kimbanda is an ATR, an African traditional religion, along the same lines as voodoo and Santeria. Okay? Kimbanda deals with Exu and Pombagira. All right? This power resembles the Norwegian black books called Cyprians, which could not be destroyed by fire. The Great Lake of Red Dragons, in which a magical book was bathed, is strongly reminiscent of themes explored in Geosophia. There it is associated with the symbol of a magical mountain where there is a blood red lake. Necromancers undertook pilgrimages to consecrate a magical book by bathing it in the waters. You see what I mean? So that is the text of Saint Cyprian. All right. Saint Cyprian. Peace and blessings. Can I bother for some knowledge later? Okay. He was a melanated saint. He absolutely was. Bobby said women that used to be hoes, but has become conscious are very powerful. I agree. Women that used to be hoes became conscious are very powerful. Okay. Bobby also said that I agree with this. Then this is scientific and biological that women who are hoes, I hate saying it that way, but how else are you going to say it? they can become crazy because they taken in all that DNA. Women are natural vampires. They draw in energy. It is what it is. Women retain the DNA of every single man they've slept with. So I guess. I don't know. Low key, I see a lot of Khazars work with him. Yes, they do. They work with a lot of the stuff that is hidden. That's why I try to bring grimoires here that people don't know about and people that people don't know about. Follow your intuition. The right brain is not logical. Remember that. So go with any crazy idea you get. Yeah. Probably use green candles, light them on a Thursday, have a toast to Jupiter, and layer that with imbuing a green doll with the spirit of a deceased Rothschild. Damn. That sounds powerful. And I'm not being funny. It really does sound powerful. Try it and see. That's the only way you're going to find out if something works. I can sit here and say something works all day long, but until you practice it, until you put it into practice, it means absolutely nothing. What's up, Guru Wiz? He did. Yes, thank you. Thanks for the assist. He did the complete Magician's Tables. Powerful, powerful book. That is a great, great book. I might put that one in Patreon also. Melissa, peace, brother. Love your show. Topic is great. Do you know if the great occultist Bobby Him is still among the living? Namaste, sister Melissa. Thank you for your support. I believe he's still alive. Ani Osaru is going to be here Thursday. He's going to come back and share some information with y'all. And he's been in contact with his brother, Bobby Him, his brother. And they say Bobby's just retired, but he's still alive. And yeah, they say he's just retired. He's still amongst us, but he just doesn't teach anymore. He doesn't lecture anymore. He had a stroke a few years ago. So I guess that's when he retired. You know what I mean? Bobby Hemming gave out so much information over a 20-year span. And so I don't feel like that man has anything else to give, because every single lecture, you can get something out of Bobby Hemmett's lectures. You can go back to him and get something new. Okay. And you'll have some new information in every single lecture of his. Bobby Hemmett is just fine. He's more than earned his piece. Pretty much what I was just saying. Happy summer ween, Andreas Abraham. What's up, man? I ain't seen you in a minute. Read plate 5 to 6 in the Egyptian Book of the Dead. Open up the mouth of Osiris. Good one. Good one. I see what you did there. When working with dolls, does synchronicity count as a message, or should it only come from dreams or visions? Comes from everywhere. All right? Everywhere. So yes, synchronicity can count as a message. Damn, y'all been talking. Synchronicity means the magic is working. Promiscuous. Yes, let's just say promiscuous. Thanks, Don. It seems that the veil separating tangible form intangibles are thinner in certain areas on the planet and can be used for increased effectiveness when doing occult practice. Do not forget, there are ley lines everywhere. Okay? Most churches sit on ley lines. That should tell you something. Those are power sources. All right? Use those. If you can find where the ley lines in your city, try and use it. Okay. Agree. DNA retention. Yes. We in here cooking. Let's cook. Big facts. He's in limbo. People that have strokes or brain damage. I've heard Bobby talk after his stroke. Yeah, when you do have a stroke, yeah, part of your brain is damaged. But I've heard him talk since then. Ani, right on. Thank you. We are all here to learn. Yes. Ali Bobby be popping up in chats. Ani interviewed him a couple times. Oh, yeah, right. He sure did. He sure did. The universe is a cult. Absolutely. How you pinpoint an exact amount of money with doll magic? Another great question. That's been my thing. I meant to say that, and thanks so much for bringing that back to my attention. I've not seen it happen regularly with an exact amount of money. It usually comes near the amount or over the amount, from my experience. I can't speak for every occultist. I can't. But most times it's usually right around the amount or a little over. Okay. So I couldn't tell you that. Most times, money magic is going to get you near your goal or over. Yes, but he cannot walk. He said that. Oh, did he say that? Okay, I didn't hear him say that, but okay. Okay. He said his wife had to wash his ass. I did hear that. That's right. You're absolutely correct. Yes. Yes. One time I got 1,000 extra. Remember the time when Queen of Swords was here and we was talking about blood magic and I got over what I asked for? I got like $1,000 over what I asked for, but I also got into a fucking car accident. So I guess that was the switch off. Like, here, you're gonna have to sacrifice your you know, I don't know, your car for me giving you more money. Here's another book. The Book of Knowledge is what this book is called. All right. The Book of Knowledge can show you I don't know if my missus is watching this. I need her to let my cat out. Give me a second, y'all. Give me one moment.
Hello, dear.
Can you let Zinga out, please?
Yes, and I'm getting ready to head out. Well, I'll wait till you're done.
Yeah, I'm almost done. All right.
Okay.
All right. Bye. All right. So, I guess my final would be, is the dial magic as unpredictable as blood magic? Yeah, but blood magic is on a whole other level of unpredictability. That shit is really unpredictable. You know what I mean? This is.
Let's go, girl.
Oh, the food should be out already.
All right, let's go. Come on. Girl, you don't get your black behind out.
Pertaining to how to quantify the amount to ask or demand, I just shoot for the stars and at least land feet first on the moon's surface. And I no longer have money issues. Well, okay. All right. Damn, I ain't get to nowhere near everything I wanted to talk to y'all about today. Jesus. What's up, doctor? Namaste. No, not a problem. All right, the Book of Knowledge can show you how to astral travel. If y'all remember the interview we did with Queen of Swords, okay, we was talking about astral travel. This book right here can give you some tips on it as well, right? Spiritual defense, though. I write this section because it's important to realize that humans can be attacked. In fact, it happens more often than one might think, but most of the time people are not aware of it. Have you ever had those moments where you suddenly feel bland, angry, upset, sad, depressed, or tired for no apparent reason? This could be due to many things. Rather than go into very specific entities that can impact people, I will explain best ways to defend yourself if such things occur. First, you must realize that all is one. All of reality actually exists within you. No matter what you encounter is a part of yourself. All negative entities are merely manifestations of you. But the paradoxical part of this is that you might also be a manifestation of them. One cannot exist without the other. The best way to avoid spiritual duress is to raise your vibration. This is why I took a social media break, y'all. Our reality operates within a system of vibrations. Lower vibrational beings are attracted to individuals with low vibrations. These vibrations result from fear, anger, anxiety, and sadness. Joy, peace, love, and hope raise your vibration. Connecting with Source, which is what I did, Prime Creator, raises your vibration immensely. If you are under attack, simply imagine and feel white light surrounding you. Call upon your higher self to protect you. Smile and laugh and know that the entity in question is nothing more than a part of you. Command it to leave by saying the word small repeatedly until it disappears. Below is an image that you can imagine yourself becoming as a means of empowerment. Oh, wow. And then it goes into astral projection. Okay. And then it actually gives tips on astral projection. Okay. Like I said, I will probably put this in Patreon. Okay. All right. Your greatest defense is the spirit in the spirit realm is healing from childhood trauma. Them entities know all y'all secrets. Same with liquor. Don't drink if you low vibration. Operating mainly from the right brain raises the vibration, while of course still using the left brain to pay your living expenses and the like. Right. Um Again, I had to take a much needed spiritual break, you know, to raise my vibration. Okay. I was getting too invested in social media. I was just mad all the time. And I was like, you know what? At least I recognized. I was like, I need to get off of here. So I did much more meditation, drinking a lot of water, grounding, you know, and I actually sat back and did nothing for a couple of days. You know what I mean? I actually was just being entertained. I watch movies to see what I can get out of it, you know, to see the subliminal message. But I actually just sat back and just got entertained by watching hood movies. I'm watching Mayans MC, um, which is a spinoff of Sons of Anarchy. Watching my daughter now has me watching Justified, which is a neo western, you know, and just watching a bunch of movies that I'm actually going to enjoy and laugh at. You know what I'm saying? So, unplug. This is what me and Reverend Patience was talking about on Sunday. Okay, I put that in Patreon as well, right? Because she does her shows now on Sundays at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, anime. Anime. Yes, absolutely. One Piece. I'm on episode 333. Isn't that interesting? I'm on episode 333. I'm going through One Piece faster than I went through Naruto. Okay. I'm loving all the places they're going. Okay. Especially Skypiea and what I just finished, the Enies Lobby. That was a great arc. Really great arc. But yeah, I was just entertained. You know, I just unplugged, and I'm not sure if y'all notice it or not. I'm much more relaxed, free flowing, and great mood, and life is wonderful. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad to be back. Thursday, I will be back with Ani Osaru. Of course, we're going to start 2 hours, 1 hour before. So we'll be starting at 3 o'clock Central Standard Time. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I can relate to that. I'm introverted. I recently got exhausted just from recording myself speaking for only 4 minutes and change. Damn. Got exhausted from that. Wow. Yeah. Spiritual realm is not logical. Yeah. Sons of Anarchy was fire. Just finished Vikings, Valhalla. Valhalla's all right. They could have did it more with that. I think I think they wasted their opportunity. They could have did it, but they say Valhalla was the end of the Viking age. Okay. If you like Sons of Anarchy, I'm thinking you're gonna like Sons of Anarchy. I mean Mayans, because Mayans I think is darker. I think it's a lot darker. See what I'm saying? Which might be why I don't have a YouTube channel. Right. I'm on TikTok. I don't like TikTok, so I'm not on there. You actually had 33 viewers in here today, too. So take that from what you will. Yeah, I saw it go higher than that too, but I didn't. It's 33 viewers right now. Wow. Yeah. Wait till you loaf meet the celestial dragon. Please do so. I don't think I got the book of knowledge. Okay, yeah. Sons of Anarchy is okay, just too repetitive. Yeah, it was. It was, but I might go over again. I'm almost finished with Mayans. Yes, I can recite every prayer in Libra. Can you really? Wow, which takes much longer than 4 minutes. Okay. Yeah, them first few seasons. Yeah. Got me. All right, y'all. I'm out of here. Thanks for joining me today. Thanks as always. I see y'all here back um Thursday. All right. And then I'm gonna go over these books that I did not get to today because I had quite a few that I wanted to go over and I didn't. I didn't, y'all. I didn't. I want to at least show y'all. Um, Let me see if I can do it though. Let's see. Let's see. There's the Testament of Saint Cyprian. All right. Then there's Presidium. Can you see that? Can you see when I switch? Can y'all see when I switch books? The Book of Knowledge, Geosophia, Luciferian Sorcery, Presidium, Saint Cyprian, Dial Magic. Shadow Nomicon is another one I wanted to speak to y'all about. Okay. Shadow Nomicon. Okay. Shadow Nomicon. This is about shadow magic, which is actually something that's in my course, Magic 401. Okay. But anyway, that's some of the books that I wanted to speak to y'all about. We'll get back to it next Tuesday, but Thursday, 3:00, be here or be square. All right. I'm the one and only, the diabolical one. Thanks for your well wishes. Thanks for welcoming me back. I am Magick La Croix. As I greet you in peace, as always. Namaste. Peace, y'all.